Hi, today's good person to know is Ian Harris. He's Associate Director for Marketing, Learning and Development at Gatehouse Consulting Limited, an internal communications agency, and author of 98 Tips from Internal Communications Professionals. Ian says that if you plan really carefully, manage your time and stay motivated, you can stay on top of your social media, but that you shouldn't aim to do that because less is more, and it's better to execute a few channels really well, which doesn't require much effort, where you create something once but it's enough to generate you business for years to come. It's about offering stuff, requesting an opt-in and then following it up. Sounds easy, I know, and we've heard it so many times before, but nobody's really shown us how. Well, Ian does. Quite literally, he talks us through the process that he takes, down to the list of automated emails, how he did his ebook, his journal, getting his face in front of the people that he wants to do business with. Ian says an email address is 1,000 times more powerful than having a Twitter follower, and says the ultimate aim should be to build your email list, and does this by pursuing 6 strategies: ebook, trade journal, job site, industry research, blog and webinars, which he explains in detail in this video. This is an ideal video for anybody who wants to know how to build your email list. And even if you're already doing it, it's so fantastic to hear from other people, to see how they're doing it too, so that you can see if you can improve it or do things better. So I hope you enjoy this video, and thank you for watching.
If you plan really carefully, and if you manage your time, and if you stay motivated, you can just about keep on top of like 6 or 7 of these channels. I think it's not about having more, it's about having less. It's about having a few channels executed really well in a way that doesn't require a lot of work to keep them going. And even better is to create content that you can create once and then just leave it and have it bring you leads and customers for a long time. It's really all that content marketing is. We're going to offer some cool stuff to people, request an opt-in. Some of them will put in the email address, and then you follow up with them until they buy from you. These are the strategies that I use. There's more, but these are the ones that I find that work for me. All of these 6 strategies are basically just a means to an end. Like, all these tactics are just really to get their email address. Email address and having a good follow-up system, following up with them, is 1,000 times more powerful than having a Twitter follower. Like, the inbox is such a special place. It's where everything comes together. I think my blog is the least important component of all this stuff. A blog is hard work, let's be honest, and it requires continual investment. There's 2 people in the world. There's people who know they need your stuff, and there's people who don't know they need your stuff. And there's more people who don't know they need your stuff than people who do need your stuff. Isn't it more valuable? Doesn't it make more sense to target the people who don't know they need you now, but will in future? This is how it works, right? You write a new post every day, and maybe at some point in the future Google will send you a lot of traffic, but you can't ever stop blogging, because if you miss like a week, you'll get sent down the rankings, and you've got to continually do it. If your content strategy revolves around ranking in Google, I don't think you have a business, I think you work for Google. You might want to consider, if you're someone who's wants to build an audience from scratch, or if you've got a small audience and you want to grow it a little bit, is ebooks. The benefit of doing an ebook is they generate leads, because you can ask people to put their email address in to get it. The thing about ebooks is that you don't have to write them yourself. We approach people all around the industry, and we say to them, what is your number 1 secret of whatever your kind of industry is? We ask them to contribute like 1 tip. We use a virtual assistant that we hired on freelance. So I say, reach out to the heads of internal communication. So you can see this is the script. Hi, would you be interested in appearing in a new book on internal communication? Books are really easy to create. They've got a really long shelf life. If you crowdsource them, you don't have to write them yourself, and the content is better than what you could probably come up with. It's a great excuse to reach out to anyone you want to approach in your industry, and people who you feature will normally share it with other people. We publish a trade journal, and this is called the Journal of Internal Communication. And it's literally something I just thought of in the shower one day. I found this designer on Elance, and I said, could you just make me a book that's like, could you make me a template that's like this, that I can flow the copy into, and make it really easy so whatever I do, it still looks good? And she said, okay. And I sent her these like, amazing sketches of how I thought it should be. Big words, so I don't have to have much content. And, can you make it like that? And she sent this back, and I think it cost me $600, which, you know, it's like an iPhone 6 probably, but I'd rather have this, I think, because I can build my business with it. So we started giving it away, and you know, you can sign up to get it, you've got to put some details in. We have like a little system, so someone signs up, they confirm their email address. Remember, the goal is not to give them this, it's to kind of get their email address. And if they're like interested to us, we'll give them a print subscription. If they're not interested, if they're not that interested to us, if they're not a prospect, then we'll just send them the PDFs. Some of our best customers originated just from coming through this. A professional journal for the people you want to target, people you want to create a relationship with, and it's a great excuse to reach out to anyone you like. And you only have to we do this quarterly, you can do this like once a year, to be honest. A tactic that you might want to try is putting out some industry research. Published this thing called State of the Sector. And again, research is the most crowdsourced thing you can imagine. It's really easy to position yourself as a thought leader in any market you care to think of. And we say, we're doing this report for the industry. You will get a free copy of the report, and you'll learn things about the industry. You'll benchmark yourself against all your colleagues. You'll see if you've got more budget or less budget than everybody else. Yeah, we turn it into this big infographic as well, so people can kind of, you know, see that it's a real thing. There's a certain type of person who just wants graphs on everything before they make any decision, and those are the types of people who look for a piece of research in the industry. In any industry, there's like a lot of professional bodies that's sitting on like thousands of email addresses and never does anything with them. And if you kind of approach it in the right way, you can get them to email them about you in a way that gets these people on your email list. It's very easy to reach out to the chief executive, and what you do is you invite them to a webinar, to be part of the webinar, and you run the registration, because you have to register for a webinar, and you run the webinar registration like through your landing page, on a jobs website, and all it does is we have a script that aggregates jobs from around the industry onto our website. And the only reason we're not like a recruitment company, but the only reason we do this is because people love signing up for this job alert. Using tactics for like getting people's email addresses, right? But what do you actually send them once they're subscribed? So there's a theory in marketing called KLT. It means people will do business with you if they know you, and if they like you, and if they trust you. And what we do is we have something called a follow-up email sequence. Now, an automated series of emails that go out once you sign up to an email list. Remember this ebook we did? So you put your email address in, and you get the first message basically delivers the ebook, and that's fine, you've got it. And then a couple of days later, you get another email, and then every 7 days on a Wednesday between noon and 3 p.m. So every week they get these series of emails. The email sequence will retain the subscriber, and it's almost like a delayed conversion. The type of content we send people, just a basic email, so it's from me. There's no graphics or templates. It's also like got quite a narrow column width, and that's deliberate because it just makes it looks more inviting to read. You just want to tell them an interesting story, because your main goal with sending an email is to get them to open the next one. After the introduction, the PS is the most read part of an email. The problem with doing what I've just told you is like, yeah, how do you find those stories and how do you make them relevant? When I sit down to write an email to our list of people I want to one day do business with, and I want them to kind of have a cool story, I go through my swipe file and I think, what is a cool story that I can give them? And this is like the messiest document in the whole world. A really good swipe file resource is Amazon.com. Part of Amazon's website called Kindle.amazon.com. And if you go there, you can see what other people have highlighted in books. Just trying to get some good stories, then that's a good tactic to use. Another cool one is Reddit. There's one called TIL. Basically, people post stuff, interesting stuff that they've learned today. These are some bridges I use. So I tell the story, and then I just say, it's a nice reminder of how, or it's the same in our industry, or here's the point. One line is a bridge, and that will get you out of anything